The Simple Pleasures. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. So, I was contacted by a Viking recently, asked a couple questions, and I thought, let's make a video out of it. I think you'll get something out of it too. He is in the Army. He's in Hawaii, and he wants to know what he can do to prepare. There's a lot of... He's also a specialist E4, married, no children. There's a lot going on there in the answer to that question, and so I thought I would just get right into it. For those of you who don't know, an E4 in the Army does not make a lot of money. A specialist, they don't make a lot of money. Less than a school teacher. Now, granted, they're given, food allowance and housing allowance and stuff like that on top of it, but base pay isn't that much money. So my point is there's not a lot of disposable income there. Whether his wife works or not, I don't know. Hawaii is an island, and so that presents unique challenges as well. Being in the military in any branch, you basically sign your life away for the duration that you sign up for, that you enlist for. GI Joe, GI, government issue, right? And so you have to do what they say, go where they tell you to go, work when they tell you to work. Everybody, whether you're a general or a private. And so there's a distinct lack of freedom there. If you don't do it, they can put you in jail. So there's that. Most civilians don't have a concept of that. And the military, when I was in, which is coming up now on a while ago, but they have a really, they're very flexible as an organization in many ways. And because of that, when you think that on Saturday you were going to go take a hike with your family and a picnic, you could find out Friday afternoon that ain't happening. You're actually coming into work and doing things, right? And you don't get to say no. So there's that. Put that over here. Boom. My wife and I, when we married, immediately went to Hawaii with the Army. And so, again, that was a long time ago, probably before this person asking the question was born. But I understand nuances about Hawaii. And again, things have clearly changed since then, but it hasn't changed that it's an island in the middle of the ocean. There's a funny video. I think it's funny. I think it's amusing that I did on YouTube. I don't know. It might be called Time Machine or, oh man, I don't remember. Old School. If I get time today, which I probably won't, I'll look it up and repost the video here. But basically, my wife and I were fairly new into preparedness. We were definitely brand new into preparedness as a couple. And we put together a survival kit in a Foot Locker. Mostly because I didn't have a lot of money back then either. Mostly with surplus stuff and stuff that I just found here and there or had laying around here and there. And our plan, which was bad in retrospect, but we were doing the best we could with what we had, where we were at. Our plan was, if the world just went crazy, she and I were going to go up into the Kahukus and, actually, no, it wasn't the Kahukus. We were going to go up into Koli Pass mountain range, whatever that mountain range is called, and survive on mongoose or something. I don't really remember. It may have been light on the details. So, what to do? First of all, understand that you signed up for the military and they own you for the next couple years. And there's a reason that none of my children considered going into the military. But that's water under the bridge. You signed up, there you are. chances are high that if something terrible happens, the military is going to grab you, one each specialist, and send you somewhere, leaving your wife alone. Plan number one. Your wife should have a job. I'm sure she probably does, but you don't have children, so she should be working so you can have family, as much family income as you can. Your wife needs to have a plan to go home, back to the States. If the world starts ramping up in a situation that it looks like, enemy bombs are going to fall on Hawaii, your wife needs to not be in Hawaii. And she needs to go back to the States with somebody. So figure that out. And that should be her bug out location in the States. And you should have a plan to get her there. That's number one. Because you're going where the Army tells you to go. However, what if it's in the realm of possibilities, but I think it's down there. Okay, so my effort would be on getting my wife squared away. And a big part of that is getting her off this island in the middle of the ocean that is a strategic target for everybody. And it doesn't help if you guys are white or black on Hawaii, because they're very racist against non-browns, as a general rule, which I'm sure you already know. So that would be my plan A. Plan B, though, you got to have a plan B. The world could just go so crazy, so fast. I don't think this is going to happen, but it could. That there is no military command and control. It's just chaos. Hawaii just took 3 nukes, boom, 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 and it's chaos. It's kind of every man and woman for themselves, so you should have a plan for that. The kahukus are vast. The ocean is teeming with food. There's a whole lot of people on Oahu. Oof. Do the best you can with what you got where you're at. Learn jungle survival skills. Learn how to procure food. Water's not going to be a problem, right, in Hawaii. So there's that. Yeah, if you're on an island like that, a super populated island where the people don't really like you, deep, not that far below the surface, not a great place to be. Another plan is the military is really good at planning for and taking care of their own. There are contingency plans to take care of dependents on Hawaii, to include food, water, medical, shelter, security, dun, 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 dun. So on the other hand, that's pretty good too. I used to say, worst comes to worst, they'll drag a water buffalo, which for those of you not in the military is like a big water trailer. I don't even know if they have them anymore in the military. Every time I see a video, they got guys carrying bottled water. But they would bring a water buffalo around the housing area if they had to, and let everybody, get water every day, if that's what it came to. But it rains in Hawaii all the time, so not a big deal. So yeah, deal with it and think real hard about re-enlisting. The other thing is, as you come up, when you're a year or two away from ETS, which for you non-military people is getting out of the military, your term is up and you say, all right, I'm leaving. I'm not re-signing back up. You can start doing things now to set yourself up. You can start researching where you want to go. The military will send you back to your home of record or anywhere else that costs that much money. I'm not sure if you ETS if they do that, though. I think when you ETS, you're just done. I don't know what the rules are anymore. But anyway, you should have a plan for setting yourself up. What's your job going to be? Where are you going to live? What are you going to do to continue income? But the world's your oyster at that point. It's like you finished being in the military in a few years, however long that is, and you're like, sweetie, we can go anywhere we want. We can go anywhere we want, and I have these skill sets. I can get these kinds of jobs to make money. Start thinking about that now. Start putting pen to paper and making some plans now for where you want to go. 3 years, that's what that's not too much time to think about these things. So do that. In the meantime, in your ample free time as a specialist in the Army, learn new skills. And if you're in the military, and again, I don't know what this person does in the military. If you're an 11 bang bang, you've got pretty good field skills and you've got excellent fighting skills. If you're a clerk typist, you got good getting a job when you get out skills. You're a mechanic, you're a lawyer, I don't know, whatever. To the extent that you have the ability to get additional training of any kind, you should take it. Any kind of training is good, because you never know when you're going to fall back on it. And again, for those of you not in the military trains the heck out of their people. There's so much training in the military. Every day is training. But I mean, there's so many courses and things that people go to. And you can learn a lot of esoteric things that end up becoming helpful. So learn that. To the extent that you can, become very outdoorsy, you and your wife. Your number one task at this point is to take care of your wife, right? And so you guys need to hike. You need to, I don't even know if you can camp in Hawaii, but spend time outdoors, go fishing, go spear fishing, with those little Hawaiian slings. Gather, learn outdoor type activities. Be comfortable in the outdoors, which isn't hard to do in Hawaii. The weather's perfect. It's green all the time. But do that. Learn how to cook outside, do the little, teriyaki beef and stuff. But learn how to do all that stuff. Become physically active people. I'm just telling you things you can do to increase your survival quotient. The military has excellent gym facilities, workout facilities, and programs for dependents and soldiers, even more so overseas. You should both be CrossFitting and biking and run the triathlon, whatever. Get really fit. You can use your time to do that. And the weather's perfect for getting fit in Hawaii. There's a lot of really good trail runs in Hawaii. So do that. My wife, when we were in Hawaii, before we had children, funny story. I came home. I used to come home for lunch when I could. I'd ride my bike home for lunch. And we used to get like American Survival Guide magazine and Survive magazine and dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, all those types of magazines. There was no internet then. And I came home and she goes, "I know what I want to do." I said, "What do you want to do?" And she throws a magazine article at me for Boulder Outdoor Survival School. And it was a 30-day course in the desert survival. They spend about 2 or 3 days in classroom in the beginning, and then you're in the desert for the next 27, 28 days. 1 day back and you're done. And I said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm going to do that." She goes, "No, you've already done everything. Airborne Ranger, Air Assault, EIB, da-da-da-da-da." And she's like, "No, you've already done something. I want to do something cool." And so I thought, that's pretty plucky of you. And so I tossed it back at her. I said, "All right, figure it out. Do it." And back then, man, that was a lot of money for us. And so she got a slot in the course, and there was a pretty minimal packing list, but it was weird stuff. Like you had to bring 3 feet of seatbelt webbing, and we found a place in Hawaii that had junk cars, and they charged us like $1 to cut a seatbelt out of one, and had to get boots and hike. And my wife used to hike up Koli Koli Pass every other day with a rucksack. She rucked up the Koli Koli Pass. And then we were at a battalion function, where they put up the camo net and the chairs, and all the wives are there, and wives get flowers for something. I don't know. Anyway, and I'm a young second lieutenant, and my battalion commander sees my wife, and he goes, "Kate, I've seen you rucking up Koli Koli Pass. What are you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm getting ready to go to this survival school." And he's like, "What?" And she showed him her foot. And again, in Hawaii, everyone wears flip-flops and sandals, and she had on something like that. And she had this huge blood blister because she was trying to break in these army boots. And he sent her to the military clinic and had them take care of her. And they squared her away. They drained her blister and put betadine in it and stuff. Anyway, she trained really hard for this course. And I'll make a long story short. the week before she was leaving, had the plane tickets, hotel res, and everything. um, she discovered she was pregnant with our firstborn. So that's another long story about our trip to the doctor and the argument and the doctor's decision. And the bottom line, she did not go. Point of my story is you can always train, you can always get stronger, you can always learn things and do better. And so I would encourage you to do that. Don't have a lot of money as an E4 for, building the survival supplies. But what you do have is income, and you don't need to spend most of it. And so if you don't have your finances squared away, get them squared away. Quit spending money on stuff you don't need and start focusing on food. Water. Don't go gadget heavy. You don't have enough money to go gadget heavy. Go skills and basics. But you should have a robust food supply because Hawaii's an island. Everything comes from somewhere else. And so to the extent that you can, start storing up basic food. Rice, gallon things of soy sauce, and you can figure out how you're going to catch fish or, whatever. Tin cans of sardines or something, but store up food to the extent that you can. What else? I think the person said they didn't have a gun, because I was thinking about that. I don't know what the gun laws are anymore in Hawaii, but man, you need a shotgun. Start out with a shotgun. 20 gauge pump shotgun, Mossberg is fine. Start with that because you can both use it. And then the next firearm you should get is like a 9mm handgun that you can afford. And you might not be able to afford one for a while. So I get that. But you can afford a shotgun if you budget your money. And you just need something to keep the zombies away if it comes to that. Again, I don't know what the rules are in the military anymore, but when I was in Hawaii, you could have guns in your home on base. And I don't know if you live on base or off base, but you could have guns in your home. You had to register it with the MPs. Fine, whatever. But yeah, you should get a 12 gauge. And you should teach your wife how to shoot it. And you should start her, a 20 gauge. And if she's of smaller stature, then you need to get a youth model. Because it's just, everything's made for littler people. And you should start her shooting 9-shot, skeet shot. You don't want to scare her. You should have my book. If you don't have my book, you should have my book. Survivalist Family, Prepared Americans for a Strong America. It deals all about young families and preparing. So that's my advice. And, for other people out there who are young, just starting off and poor, relatively, you don't start making your money in life until 40s and 50s. Not in this country. Focus on the things you do have. You have your youth, your vitality, your physicality. Focus on those. Enhance those things. You have your brain. Your brain is really sharp when you're a younger person. Learn things. And again, sure, try and learn things that apply to preparedness, but in the scheme of life, everything applies to preparedness. You can learn some esoteric thing that could end up making you extremely valuable or solve a problem that you need solved in the future, 20 years from now. So go to every school you can go to with the military, sign up for classes, the free classes and things like that. Become outdoorsy. Develop an outdoorsy mindset. It doesn't take money to do that. And Hawaii has abundant outdoor recreational opportunities. So that's my advice on that. Do well in your job. Be, an awesome specialist. Get promoted to E5 early. Do really well at your job. And it's the military, man. You can't sweat the small stuff. You got to let stuff come off your back. You're not going to get to do what you want. And all those people in the military that are yelling at you and telling you what to do and rah, 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 all the way up to the 2-star division commander, they're all being told what to do by other people, even though they don't show it. And, you know, they go home to their wives and they're not real happy about, you know, how they got to come in on Saturday either. So, you know, that stuff, it flows all up and down that chain. So just do a good job, do the best you can with what you got where you're at. And I bet you Vikings have really good advice out there. But yeah, you know, mask, snorkel, fins, and a Hawaiian sling. Go get some food. All right, I'll see you out there.